I can tell you too, last month, I was expecting to finish the month around 61,000 and it finished at 63. I was like, wow, that's great.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I've been in the logistics and global logistics, warehousing, transportation business for 28 years now. First 9 years, I started out in the grocery business, spent 9 years there. I've never really interviewed for a job since I started working. I started working at Sack and Groceries when I was 16 and just stayed with that company for 9 years. I didn't leave there until I started working for my father-in-law. And I started my own thing, doing something similar to what he was doing. It didn't work real well being in a family business. I tell people I've got a family and I got a business, but I'm not a fan of family business. I don't want to hire anybody I can't fire. My wife and daughter have never worked for me. I've got 2 companies here in Albuquerque. They're kind of symbiotic. One is to provide services for other logistics companies. And then I also own a logistics company. So it's a customer of my other company.
Nice.
But I also work with a lot of my competitors. We're kind of the only game in town for a lot of services needed here. If you know what a customs broker is, that deals with importing goods, we're the only one in Albuquerque.
Oh, wow. You kind of have a bit of a monopoly there.
So even if somebody else, all the big companies, I have a lot of clients are billion-dollar companies, the big names in the logistics space, they have to use us because we're the only ones here in town. That's not a huge thing. It's Albuquerque, tiny little town. We have no industry here. I have clients all over the country, but we do. Amazon's a big customer of mine. We actually do warehousing for Amazon.
Yeah.
And then we also store boxes for one of their suppliers that have little smiles on them, and then we deliver those to them. And then actually, I do a little bit of logistics for Amazon. We just did a job not too far from me for one of their San Diego locations. Just had to do a shipment for them. That's me in a nutshell. I'm 51. I'm kind of getting burned out, to be honest. At 28 years in the industry, I already hit a plateau. I'm in an industry where you can always keep growing and you never stop learning. There's always new stuff. It's changing constantly, which is good because it doesn't get boring. At some point, it kind of does. I've got some other things I want to do. So that's why I found you guys. Couldn't help it, honestly. I even see you in my Facebook. I get warehousing, I get freight that just gets left in our warehouse for different reasons. And I've been selling some on Facebook Marketplace. And I see your ads on Facebook Marketplace. So you're everywhere. Other than this 190,000 from my dad, I don't have a lot liquid right now that until I sell the company, which like I said, I've got 2 potential buyers. It's going to be A or B. They're both very interested. One's working with me a lot more. I've been emailing with him even today. I'll get a deal done, and I'm going to sell off the logistics piece, or actually the trucking piece of one of my companies. But I'm still going to have 2 companies, but they're just going to focus on less pieces of the overall logistics pie. So it's going to give me a lot more opportunity to focus. But it's also going to give me at least $500,000 to put somewhere else. And yeah. I guess there's one question I asked that. Do you recommend if I put all my eggs in your basket, or would you say don't do that? I know there's still risk inherently involved, and I would trust you. I'm sure you'd be honest. Obviously, you want everybody to participate as much as possible. But if I've got $500,000, would you say, well, maybe put half at ATN and maybe put half in something else you like, real estate or Amazon or whatever? But I know you're not a fan of e-com as much anymore. But I had to hire a lawyer for my Amazon store because they shut it down.
Oh, wow.
The Asian company has not been able to get it back up and running. And
wow. Yeah, let me answer that, right? I'm not a financial planner or a financial or any of those things. If you have one, I would definitely suggest you consult with them. And what I would do in your case, in your scenario, is if I had 500K that's liquid and available, I would allocate things in a percentage like model where it's around between 20 and 30% in something that is kind of more outside of the markets, right? That's like not subject to any volatility or whatnot, which could be a high yield savings, a whole life insurance policy, something that still can remain liquid, but still is competing against inflation. I wouldn't just sit it in the bank account. That's not how I would do it.
Money market account or like a high yield saving. Okay, got it. FDIC type stuff.
Correct. And preferably as well, I would put it in a position like for me, I would put it in a position to where I can take advantage of asset-based lending. So asset-based lending, essentially, it's you're putting your capital, again, it can be in high yield savings, it can be in a money market account, to where as long as you up front, that institution allows for asset-based lending, then let's say you had $500,000 in that account, and the portfolio that you have is backed by very like blue chip stocks, a blue chip index fund or whatever it is. The better and the more reputable the index fund or whatever you're invested in, the better and more reputable it is, the more they're going to allow for you to borrow against it. right? So up to 80% is kind of like that threshold of if it's really solid. If it's just single stocks like Tesla or something like that, they may let you borrow
50%.
60% or something along those lines, but it's against it, right? So you still keep that main principal that's in there, but again, you're just kind of borrowing, like having a separate note, kind of similar to how like a HE loan would work like on your home.
I'm totally down with the concept of using the debt instead of
the cash. Is exactly the so I would do something along those lines. Then once you have that actual capital, then you can put then I would consider putting capital into trading, right? And then I would also keep a little bit of capital as well, because in your case, you run an e-commerce business as well. Is it still operating or it's not?
No, it was growing really good. We're about to have a 10K month 4 would have been a 10K month, and they shut it down because of a Nike shoe that they couldn't verify. I'm selling lots of Nike.
Oh, I got it.
There's one particular Nike shoe that they had 50 different Nike products on there, but it was one anyway. They're a disaster.
Yeah, no. So I would, in that case, I would just have a whatever percentage that you are comfortable with putting into the trading option, and then also you can make a determination if there's anything else that you'd be like actually interested in. If you have like one of the best things that I have done is like invested into myself. So if there's like a mentor that you wanted to learn from, or if there's a conference that was in another part of the world that was really exciting and intriguing, okay, great. Like I'll go there and those things. So not something that's like, oh, go take a vacation and go this or that, but like go like do some self-development or professional development and figuring out what your next chapter looks like. Because when you do sell, I know you're selling a part of the company, you should be able to have some more bandwidth, and that bandwidth should allow for you to, have a new kind of like thing that you do, whether it's a hobby or a passion or giving to charities or what have you. I would kind of, again, a portion would go to trading and the other portion would go to like self-development and enrichment, and then be able to kind of like meet kind of new people and kind of see what's going on there, and then have some dry capital or some dry powder on the side as well for when you do have those new relationships and things like that. You guys can form some sort of partnership or something that ends up working out down the line.
Exactly in line with what I'm looking. I'm actually thinking, since I'm staying in the industry, I was actually considering, I've been nominated for some boards in the past for various reasons. Just I was new in the organization. I had kind of people didn't know me, but now I've got more people are wanting to nominate me. I could put in, the effort on a board in the logistics space where I already know everybody. So I can help network those people. I can bring up the new guys and kind of give back in that way. They're both of the two big organizations I'm part of are very big with charities too. They have golf tournaments and all that kind of stuff. And so they're always looking for the guys with the more white hair to work on that and grow those organizations. So that's one option I thought of. Right. I want to get into real estate again too. I'd like to take 100K at least and buy a partnership in an apartment complex. There's a group down in Texas called Lifestyles Unlimited, and they're a phenomenal group to partner with. They're just a networking group, but you network with the other millionaires, and they do deals together in apartment complexes, and they don't fail. They've got all the resources there. They partner together. One guy might buy apartment complex, another guy over here. They may be small to where they don't have enough size to have their own management company and maintenance group and all that, but then they partner together. They'll create a third company, and then that company can do all the leasing and management for those 3 complexes that are owned by separate guys. The economies of scale that they put together with their deals and their knowledge and background is amazing. They're doing billions of dollars in transactions.
That's great to hear. There's going to be opportunities like that. You want to just keep some capital on the side to make sure that you're able to take part of it. But in my estimation, having some more of a position in trading is a great thing. And just kind of have your portfolio match how you like it based off of performance and things like that. Just make sure that it's allocated in a good way that supports your lifestyle. But for you, what's been the main motivation for wanting passive income? You've been looking into e-commerce, and that didn't necessarily work out in the same way that didn't necessarily work out for me as perfect as I expected. But what's your main motivation or reason for passive income? Is it because you're looking to angle towards kind of retirement soon?
Yeah, definitely. Why wait? Retirement's a financial position, not an age. I don't want to wait till I'm old. I've got a great doctor I'm working with, trying to stay healthy and do all kinds of fancy supplements and detoxing and diet strategies and stuff. And I feel better now than I have years ago when I was just eating too much sugar and not exercising and stuff like that. So as many years left as I've had till now, but I got a lot of stuff to do. I want a little bit. I'm not a big fan of diversification, right? Because that you get too diversified, you end up diversifying, and then you can't keep track of everything. I think it was Warren Buffett or somebody said, put all your eggs in one basket and watch that basket, right? Because if you diversify too much, then you don't really know what you're doing. Diversification is for people that don't know what they're doing. So that way they take some of that risk off by diversifying. So I like a little bit of that, but I want to have that passive kind of want to have some more stream, just like you're saying, divide it up a little bit so that you're dividing your risk and dividing your opportunity, but definitely time and freedom. I've got myself too thin the last probably 10, 12 years. So I own two companies, but I also have a third job as I have a contract sales job. And that's actually my primary income for the last several years. And I had $3 million in sales last month doing that. I need to be able to focus on these things so I can shed them, right? So I can focus on it, get ready to sell it, divest it, whatever I need to do so that I can capitalize on what I built, not losing it. So getting the freedom I do pretty much run my own schedule, but I still have too many things on my plate. So I'm trying to convert some of that more to passive income, to like truly passive income. That's why I really liked your opportunity, because it was that. I still got plenty of energy and time left to mess around with stuff that's not as passive. That's why I don't mind Amazon and stuff. I really like Amazon. I think Amazon themselves is a disaster. Like the way they run their company it's not passive.
On your end, like I know that you mentioned you saw me on, even Facebook Marketplace and things like that. Was there like a particular ad or like a video that like piqued your interest?
I definitely lean more towards the guys that are making, I say guys because it's been mostly guys that have a significant amount of money put in, they're in the six figures, and seeing their results and seeing their comments more so than I guess maybe some of the smaller investors. But that's because that's what I'm looking for, right? I knew when I started, like you said, I started out kicking tires, just a proof of concept, but I'm trying to find a place to put six figures, multiple six figures. So those resonated with me because they seem to be in line. And I'm guessing I'm pretty common in a lot of ways with a lot of your other people, professionals, doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, whatever. That makes sense to me, right? I'm in the right place, right? With other people that have X amount of liquid that they need to get some better returns on other vehicles. So relating to the other people in the videos, knowing more about them is maybe what's one thing that attracted me.
Oh, understood. And on your end, of course, you had your call. I think it was with James, and then you spoke with me, and you had a decision to make, right? There's an upfront fee and things like that. Were you like skeptical? Were you nervous? How did you feel just before joining ATN?
I still, in the back of my mind, I've always wondered, because I don't, with FedEx, there's UPS, with Pepsi, there's Coke, with Ford, there's Chevy, with ATN, what else is there? Why are you the only one doing exactly what you're doing? As far as I know, there's some other ones out there doing similar thing. The Forex trading is very popular now. A lot of people are offering different ways of getting involved in that. With the algos are popular. They've been popular for a long time. Now they're mainstream. The general category that you're in seems to be pretty common, but the specific category, I don't see any direct competitors. So what was that guy that had that Ponzi scheme that Tom Brady was in?
Oh, like FTX?
Yes. Like I'm always in the back of my mind wondering, is this something like that? I'm going to be the Tom Brady finding out that, there's something weird going on. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but enough of me that like I'm willing to take some risk and try and vet out things as much as possible. Like even with my Amazon stores and some of these other automation things, I did a lot of vetting, and I think I picked the best possible options that are out there, but they're still not doing what they're supposed to. And it's not all them. They've got great teams that put together great websites, but it's inherently flawed in the way they're trying to operate with the stores. It's just they're trying to sidestep a bunch of things, and
ends up being tough. Yeah. No, and I mean, like with the onboarding process, like how was the setup with Julio? How did that go? That
was flawless. Yeah, that was easy. And then I think I actually screwed it up. I think I accidentally got another account because I get an email once a month, periodically, I don't know how often it is, that tells me my account balance and it's zero. But I don't think that's my real account.
Like the first account that you maybe.
Yeah, I think I accidentally added some kind of another account, but I never put any money in it, so it's not real. But it wasn't Julio's fault. But no, he's been amazing and easy to get a hold of, always responsive. Same thing everybody else says about him. He's
great.
Updating me, hey, Aaron's busy, he'll be there in a minute, and all that stuff. And I live on Zoom also, so I know how, especially back-to-back calls.
One thing can run over, and then if you already had back-to-back calls, then now you're just behind overall and all those things. So yeah, you can understand. But I'm glad that the communication has been great. So maybe
that actually at one point. So I think I'm at like $90,000 into the Amazon store with my upfront fee and then the inventory I put in. But they do zero proactive updates. I get nothing from them. They're easy to get a hold of. They use Skype. They're easy to get a hold of. They're very responsive when I reach out to them. But for them reaching out, they do nothing. They don't send out any blasts to all. They have like 400 stores that they manage. They never send anything out saying, hey, we're doing this, or hey, we got this new product line. We got this new supplier we're selling now. I mean, nothing about the company, nothing about anything other than me having to deal with them to buy inventory and to talk about this on the store. They're okay when you reach out to them. They're great at that. Mm-hmm. But what I really like, you guys, I was watching that early on. I didn't see a lot of that, but that really quickly there within 30, 60 days, then I saw things like I was missing out somehow. I didn't know that you had the Telegram channel and a WhatsApp or Skype. I kind of missed some of that somehow. Mm-hmm. But once I got onto all that, now you guys are doing a great job. at providing those updates and staying proactive with notifications. To me, it's just the right amount.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what we want. And we know some clients like more interaction. There's some clients that are like good to be communicated with once even a month is great. But for us, we would rather you have it and not need it than need it and not have it and feel like you're chasing people around or you're trying to get answers and they're not coming or things like that. So that's excellent. On your end, of course, after you got your account set up and things like that, how quickly did you actually see your account start to generate passive income?
It was in days. It was days. I put 10,000 in, and I think I made a couple $100 like in just within a couple of days. That's why I threw another 10 grand in like within a week, and that's when I started seeing the how it does do that. There's a jump and then it's flat for a while, and then there's a jump and then it's flat for a while. That's what I keep seeing at least, but.
No, that's kind of how it does go, right? It's not going to be linear. It's not going to be like, oh, it's 1%, once a week or once every few days or whatever, kind of stagnant. And then a great opportunity, 2 or 3%, and then stagnant, a good opportunity, that's 1%, stagnant, great opportunity. And that's kind of how it goes. We just try to, in the meantime, our team scrapes as much of profits as are possible. But again, the number one thing is capital preservation.
Capital, yeah. That's obvious. It's clear. You can see it just watching the numbers. You can see, I can see behind the scenes, knowing how algos work and stuff. You can see behind the scenes, my brain's like looking inside the computer, seeing all the zeros and ones, and you can tell there's a lot of stop loss type. There's a lot of preservation methods used in there because it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
It's like last month, I can tell you too, last month I was expecting to finish the month around 61,000. And it finished at 63. I was like, wow, that's great.
So in the last 30 days, let's talk about how much did your account actually generate in that 30-day period?
I don't have that number. I know that it was somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000, I think. But I don't know. I need to learn more to dig in. I know that data is in the system. So where I can go see, and there's like weekly updates. There's a lot of different things. And I know there's videos now on the Slack and other places to go see that. I need to make myself go dig that in.
I mean, as well, you can always schedule a call with your success manager to be able to like kind of walk you through those things. That's exactly what we are here for. We don't want you to have to feel like you need to dig around and figure things out yourself. If we can help you save an hour or longer of trying to figure something out yourself, then we want to be able to do that. And it'd be a 5 or 10 minute process. Here's exactly what you're looking for. This is where to go. We want to be able to take that opportunity to do that.
And that's great. That's just me. That's my personal way. Like right now at my job, I'm actually digging in my main software just to learn it because it's giving me more visibility. I'm actually going to do the billing for the next couple of weeks to take some slack off of somebody else or they're getting behind. So, but I said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get in. I don't usually do billing. I don't do payroll. I don't do any of the day-to-day stuff. But I'm going to get in there, dig in so that I can see who the customers are, how many shipments a day are we doing for this customer? I can see the profit margin. I can see it all if I just do this one little task. So that's how I operate. Like I want to get in there and do it myself. I feel that they're there. Like if Julio, I've reached out to them. Julio, before I had the Slack channel, he was always responsive within a day of everything.
Yeah. So in the last 30 days, you made around $3,000. So for you, did you already have your account at 55K at that point? Or was that like, did you add more capital after that? Or what was
No, I think I put the 55 in April. I think from the beginning of April. So all of April and May, I think was at 55.
Okay. So if it was at 50, so
it was already higher, I think, because I put in 10 and then I put 20 and then I got to 30 and then I went to 55. Went from 30 to 55. So I think that was in April. If I remember correctly, it was already 57, something like that. And then it went up to 60. And then I thought maybe 61 or something, but ended up at 63. And it's been 63-ish for a week or two. It's just broke over 63 in the last day or so.
If you started the month at 57 thereabout and it ended the month at close to about 63 or so, that's about $6,000 in the last 30 days.
That'd be 60 days from.
It'd be 60. Okay. Because what day did you put the rest of it to get to the 55K? I know you said April, but was it?
I think right at the beginning of April.
Oh, at the beginning.
I think I was probably low mid 50s because I didn't make a lot before that. I was only at 10 or 20, maybe 30,000. For the first 2 months, it maybe averaged 15 to 20,000. But so March had 30,000. And then, so that may have made them 1,000 or two maybe in there. And then, so when I put 55 in, I was probably up to 50, 57, 58 maybe. And then it went to 60 something, and then it went to 63, if I remember correctly, something like that.
Love it. Okay, well, it's moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's what we want, right? And so in your case, when you put more deposits in and they're frequent, like let's say 4 in the last 4 months, it does change the calculations a little bit. So it does skewed. However, still it's moving in the right direction. What we've seen, just so you know, for most accounts, that have been in it for the whole month of May, they did about 10 or so % for that month. So that was on the higher end of what we do expect. And that's what we're excited about, kind of how things are progressing. With that, even if you average those results out, how would you compare it to other things that maybe you've tried in the past and kind of experienced before?
It's been a while since I've really had anything similar, I guess, to compare it to, but
The Amazon one would be one, right?
Amazon's so slow. It takes forever. Like I bought my first inventory like last September or something like that. So I was putting in 10,000 a month for like 5 or 6 months. And with Amazon, you got to have your seller scores and all that before things really start going. But like I said, March would have been $10,000 in sales. And I would have actually finally started to have profit in March or April. And that would have been in the thousands of dollars. There's no comparison to me. I know there's some more risky investments. You can get higher returns, but for being hands off and relatively low risk, I've never been involved in anything that's been this good.
Yeah, love that. And how passive has it actually been for you after the onboarding phase?
Other than just making deposits, 100%.
Love it. And the last question that I have is, of course, we expect this to continue on and the results to be similar or even perhaps better going forward. But as long as it does stay the same or if not better, how likely are you to recommend us?
Oh, extremely highly willing to recommend you. I do have one other person that I've talked to about it, seriously considering it. I've been pretty cautious with a lot of things. I don't recommend too much too early, that kind of thing. But at the point now, after 4 months, and just kind of passively continuing to vet the general concept, I'm almost at that point to start really being a champion for you guys because it's pretty amazing.
I love that. Well, I'm happy that you're experiencing great results to this point, and we definitely expect to continue on that path and be able to deliver the ability for you to take more time to yourself and have more bandwidth and things like that. I know there's a few different factors as to what will allow for you to do that, and I know we're one of them, but we plan to do our part. I was happy to have this conversation again, this catch up with you, Scott. I do look forward to seeing you here in the next few weeks for just another update and seeing how things are going, making sure we're still on the same page. And also, if you haven't already, we do have our event at the end of September.
Yeah, I'm debating. I could drive or fly pretty easy, get over there. I've got something else going on, like right back to back with that. I have to be in Vegas for another conference. If I don't make it, I don't make it. But I'm seriously trying to get to it, think about it.
I love it. I appreciate that consideration. And but if not, I'll still see you in the next few weeks, just via Zoom. So enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good, sir. Thank you for your time.
Okay. So every 30 days, I talk one-on-one with my clients, and that was their experience. If you want to learn more on how we help our clients earn 60% or more per year, then click the link in the description below.